morning.
Good morning.
I'm Kathy Tarchioni, and we have Gaetan today with us,
Hey, good morning.
and we've got Roman Gottfried.
Good morning. How you guys doing?
Good morning. And we are all here today for a very, very special show. We're doing our second show that is all encompass about what we do at the Dog Connection. As you know, for the last, since 2012, we've been running a show that has been very, very successful through the years. And now we want to start showcasing those organizations that have really helped us quite a bit. So our segments are going to be first the weekly canine news. Then we'll go in where Gaetan will showcase those do a little tribute to dogs that have made a significant difference to people, service dogs, emotional support dogs, comfort dogs. And then we have Roman, who has his holistic dog training. He will be Roman to the rescue. We have it now as Ask Roman, but we're going to change it to Roman to the rescue. And then we have Dog Thoughts, which are actually what we do is we interview a dog and we find out what the dog is really saying and what they're really thinking. So it's kind of cute. These are animated dogs, but you'll like it. Everyone will like it. So let's begin the show. Hold on here a second. Let's begin the show. Okay, so for this morning, we're going to be showing everyone some of the things that some of the people have been doing. By the way, we want to welcome Best Friends Animal Society to watching today. We want to welcome PetSmart. Want to welcome Dogs Today magazine. And we also want to thank everybody that has been our fans that are watching today. Let me see, I think we got a couple of people here. Who's watching here? Okay. We have Dale. Good morning, Dale. Good morning, Ron. Yeah, we'll have a great show. So what we're doing, folks, is we're showcasing those organizations that are doing some really great things. And this is just a wonderful thing. For years, I've talked about having co-branded credit cards for the pet industry. And here, Credit Bank One, they've pledged $1 million to Best Friends, and they're having a co-branded credit card so that when somebody goes and purchases something on that credit card, a percentage of it will go to help them. And I wanted to read this part here, which says, Best Friends is incredibly grateful for Credit One Bank generous donation and commitment to our efforts to making America no-kill by 2025, said Julie Castle. She's the chief executive officer of Best Friends. And the no-kill by 2025 by Best Friends Animal Society is something that is very, very near and dear to all of our hearts and all of the rescues and shelters. If any of you are not familiar with it, we're going to put a link in the description so that you can, not in the description, in the comments, so that you'll be able to go to Best Friends Animal Society and find out what this is all about. This is an initiative that has helped people through the years understand that when a dog goes to a shelter, some shelters have no kill. Some shelters have kill, which means in a certain period of time, whatever animals that are in that shelter are going to be euthanized. And in many cases, this can be a healthy animal, but they're euthanized because of space. So the idea is with this initiative to be able to work together so that we stop the euthanasia and find alternate methods of being able to stop the no-kill. So Best Friends is a great organization to be able to do that. The next one that we have, let me put this back up here. The next one that we have is PetSmart Charities. PetSmart Charities has offered a grant of $300,000 to Meals on Wheels to support seniors and their pets during COVID-19 and other emergencies. Now, what you might not have realized that for years, Um, Meals on Wheels has been providing meals for seniors, but during this pandemic, they're not able to get out. They haven't been able to help with their pets. So, what a wonderful thing for PetSmart to step up and help with this. Okay, then the third thing on my agenda, which is the weekly news. By the way, I'm the one doing the weekly canine update. uh, is I want to introduce you to Barkhouse. Barkhouse is an organization that is a pet overpopulation solutions provider. Boy, that's a big that's a big word there. And what I'm most impressed about with them is Gaetan and Roman as well have been helping with the development of their program that they have. They have launched a wonderful program that has taken over 5 years to develop, and it's not a rescue, it's not a shelter, but it's a system. It's a logistics transport system that has actually been put into place. I'm going to show you a picture of this here of what it looks like. And this is a Barkhouse hub. Now, we don't have time to go into all of this today, but on Saturday, I'm going to be introducing this particular program to everyone through a live broadcast sponsored by the Dog Connection show. And we'll be going over the details of how Barkhouse has now received a sole source contract from the Doña County, or they're in the process of receiving the contract. They just made the announcement on their website yesterday. And that means that why is sole source so important? Because there's nobody else that can compete with what the services are. And I want to explain to everyone how it all came about, because the Dog Connection played an integral part, our people did, and we're very proud of it. So with that, we'd like to be able to go forward, and let's go to Gaetan. So Gaetan, tell us what you have for us.
Good morning, everybody. So many times we take for granted what we have, and we don't think really if this faculty is missing, what will happen. And I'm thinking about hearing. We take as granted our ability to hear, but rarely we think about what happens if we don't hear. And there's an organization training dogs to assist people with hearing impeachment.
Impediment.
Impediment.
I think impeachment is on everybody's mind.
Too much news yesterday.
Yeah.
Sorry for that one. So in San Francisco, there's a program called the Hearing Dog Program. It's one of many hearing dog program where they train dog to assist people with hearing difficulties. And I have a short video of that organization I would like to share with you. Okay. And
I take him to work 5 days a week, and what he does is he will let me know when my client needs my attention.
Yes. Good boy. Yes.
And oftentimes when I'm with clients, he often helps clients feel a little bit better. And other than that, he's a wonderful companion, and it's like people around here enjoy having breaks and coming in here to pet him.
Good boy. Touch. Good girl. Boy. Yeah.
We first found Runner at the shelter. We thought he might make a really nice hat, some sort of adornment, you know, a living hat. It's kind of unique. But then we decided, no, he'd make a better hearing dog instead.
In the shelter kennel, and the dog leaps onto her back like a mountain goat, looks around like, wow. So then we suffer in training for months. Every time we bend over, there's this dog perching on our kisses. Yes, sir. Very good kisses. She's a lovely, lovely dog.
Okay, that was great, Gaetan.
Yeah, this is a video by the Hearing Dog program based in San Francisco. It's one of many organizations who provide training for dog and training for people which need help with hearing. So it's one type of service dog, and that's why today I decided to show this specialties of service dog. It's one of many.
Okay, so let's go on to the next area, which is Roman. Hey, let's ask Roman. Okay, you know, Roman, we've had a number of questions here, and one of them is, they've got actually two questions. First one is resource guarding. Should I take away my dog's bone when he growls?
Actually, that's a very good question. I see many people struggling with it because on one perspective, we see growling as a bad behavior. Then we
Oops. Whose is that?
that's a test for the hearing dogs.
Good response.
and the second part is that people basically quickly are making assumptions and call that resource guarding. Now, I would say the first thing, answering the questions, no, you don't take your dog's bone away when he growls at you, because you basically confirm one thing. The dog's suspicious that you're coming up to take his bone away. We have to see the root of the behavior. And usually there are multiple roots, or at least one. There could be genetic, could be medical reason, could be empirical, could be a trauma, could be fear. So if we not really understand why the dog is showing this behavior, we cannot actually call it out as such. Okay, I know it sounds like resource guarding, but that doesn't give you any information. It just gives you a title that doesn't really help you anything. We should look for indications where the dog really tries to communicate a problem. I have a problem with you approaching me while I'm doing what I'm doing. Why that happens, we don't know yet. From a first indication, we should search for further into that. So the first thing I usually rule out is genetics. Do we have a genetic predisposition for the dog to guard things? For example, guardian breeds. They're actually in a life stage, they do more guarding because they need to recognize what is mine and has to be protected, because we need him as a service, as a guardian dog. And then the other part is, you who come to take things away from me, I need to warn you. The next thing we want to look for is medical conditions. Usually dogs who show these kind of behaviors have medical conditions. They are, sometimes it's parasites, it's very young puppies. Sometimes they have problems with the digestive system, so we need to definitely call in a veterinarian or a veterinary nutritionist to help us adjust the nutritional aspect of it. I've seen many times people underfeed their dogs. Young puppies up to 6 months of age should eat at least 3 times a day. Okay, healthy, nutrient-rich, breed and stages appropriate food. I'm not getting stuck to raw feeding or kibble, just a breed appropriate, nutritional rich, for the puppy stages appropriate dog food. And that should be in the amount that the puppy is according to his um, nutritional needs. So a puppy that has a growth spurt needs more food. I disagree with free feeding in that case because it's not helping the puppy, associating that you are the provider, and therefore there's a certain amount of respect coming in from your approach and your handling with the dog. But we cannot just judge the dog for growling because he's hungry. Okay, we should do something about it. The other thing that happens is could be empirical. Dogs learn from other dogs that growling is what you do when people are approaching while you're doing something on your bone because we saw it from a big brother, right? And also dogs are learning from our behaviors. So they're observing how we handle situations. The dog comes up begging, we growl at the dog, he should back away while we're eating.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we are source guarding and basically teaching the dog what to do with it, right? And
Yeah.
then we approach the dog and says, I learned my lesson, I'm growling back to you like you did last time I went begging on the table.
Yeah.
Then we have traumatic experiences. I see many times where dogs react towards other dogs and it's being considered resource guarding while we're not seeing that the other dog is coming and tries to take the other dog's food away. So it's not really resource guarding, it's a functional behavior. I just tell this guy to back off because he's about to eat my food. He should eat his own food. He's not being jealous about me. So that could be something that can happen. Another part, fear is another factor. For example, I see dogs who are changing environments, their family situations now during COVID, all these stresses coming in, and dogs going into survival response. They're fearful of their environment. And so what they do, they naturally hoard things. They try to keep things, especially things they value. Not only food, not only their toys, also their bed or their people or their areas or the couch, whatever they perceive of a value. And many of you guys who have been in experience of, traumatic experiences, you will recognize that you are more protective over your stuff. If somebody steals your car, you will be more guarding your car. You will lock your doors and you make sure everything is in place. So answering that, I had to do that introduction so people really understand what it is about. So when we have a dog who is guarding or he's expressing himself that he's worried about our approach, we should not correct that behavior. It's nothing to correct. The dog expresses his emotions and we should appreciate it. So we should give the dog that feedback. Oh, okay, I understand. Right? Thank you for telling me that you're worried about. Instead of biting my face off or biting my hand, you growled at me, letting me know that my approach is inappropriate. And I have to hold space for the dog and think about what is happening right now, what is the situation, what are the environmental factors or the medical factors that affect my dog to do that behavior. The first thing I would look for is, why is he growling? Is it my distance? Is it my space? Is it something I held in my hands? Is it because of my hat that I'm wearing right now? My dog is not recognizing me. Or is it really something about food or a location? I see many people inviting people over to their house and the dog is sitting on the couch and suddenly the dog is growling at the people because those people sitting on the dog's safe place. So he's not resource guarding. He's just telling them, hey, this is my comfort spot. I'm irritated right now. Stay away from me.
Okay, Roman, I have to interject here for a second because all of a sudden, this is a great subject. Many shelters, they euthanize because of resource guarding.
Yes.
Whoa. So you're really saying that that's not the thing to do, that this is a natural instinct. Oh my God, just think of all the poor, well, I'm not going to go on a pity pot here, but
No.
Wow.
There are assessments where we have a dog in the shelter being assessed with a fake hand approaching his food.
Right, yeah.
And judge that the dog is resource guarding. First of all, it's that hand coming up to him. The dog never had an experience with it. And that tries to take something away, that I'm starving right now.
Right.
Shelters have low quality food, unfortunately, because it's a cost issues.
Yeah. Yeah,
Dogs are
like Coco says here, people act like they don't get mad when a waiter or waitress tries taking their plate before they're done. Absolutely, Coco.
right, right.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we have this imaginary
Wow.
perfection in mind that a dog should tolerate any of our handling, even if we are strangers to the dog. Like, how would the guardian breed behave if somebody strangers come and take your sheeps away, or a guardian dog comes into your property and takes your car away? He should kind of like, "Hi, do you have any cookies?" That's not what you
Yeah.
do. So we breed dogs for over thousands of years to do specific tasks, and now just because we call them as pets, that thing that is being bred into as being punished by death. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Wow. Wow. That is that is really, really very scary to me.
Mhm.
I
And
don't know
just
about you,
imagine,
Gaetan. Yeah.
It,
I was going to say,
yeah,
imagine if you got shot or you got killed because of the fact that you were trying to protect your food. Hey, I might be hungry too. That's the
uh,
real issue. What a shame.
there's a lack of understanding of the communication. If the human part don't respect the animal part in the interaction and the communication, there would be conflict. And the humans say, "Oh, there's conflict. I don't like that." Boop, shelter.
Right. Yeah,
But
exactly.
so
Yeah.
many protocols that are also by behaviorists and shelters being in place to judge and evaluate those situations are not appropriate.
Wow.
Unfortunately, there is no scientific evidence to support that these particular approaches are appropriate. And so we don't take in consideration the stress factor of a dog being in a completely new stressful environment. He's
Oh,
going into survival mode right there in that shelter, being confined in a place, suddenly lost his family. He doesn't know he's being surrendered because he growled at the child coming up to him and punching him in his face, right?
yeah,
Right.
exactly.
And
You are so right.
or another person coming up and kissing the dog on his head, because he usually does this with dogs, because those people are perfect. All the dogs love them except my dog, who just bite your face off because you approached him in a predatory intent to my dog's face, and your dog doesn't know you, and just because you love all the dogs doesn't mean my dog loves you.
Oh my gosh. Folks, if you get anything out of this show, please get what Roman is saying. This is so important. And when you think about all the dogs that are euthanized, we see it all the time when we get reports from our local shelter that lets you know why the dogs were euthanized. And it's always resource guarding, aggressive
What?
behavior.
There
Wow.
are female dogs being put to sleep because they just had babies or puppies,
Oh
and they're put their
my.
dog to sleep because he's aggressive. That's a
Yeah.
natural instinct of a mother to protect her puppies. You just took the puppies away.
Yeah.
Why not growling at you? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
But
geez.
you know what?
And it's common sense, isn't it, when you really think about it? Because if you did the scenario between a human and a dog, there's same reactions there. We would act the same way
Well, we
if
have a
somebody
problem
was
here
trying to
because
steal something from us.
people say we shouldn't humanize dogs,
Oh,
and we ignore that dogs are mammals, just like we are. And they have emotions pretty much like we do, and they have intelligence a lot like we do, not similar but very close.
right.
We nearly now discover the potential of a dog's intelligence, that
Yeah.
we know more about the deep sea oceans and the moon than we know about our own dogs. We just barely had, let's last like 50 years actually start studying dogs
Hmm.
to understand what they do.
Okay, well, thank you so much for that. We have another question here now, too, for you, Roman, which is, my dog snapped at my cat when she got near my dog's bed. Are my children now in danger?
Okay, my husband just had a car accident while texting on the phone. Is he capable of killing my kids? Okay. So
Good analogy, yeah.
that's more likely the case than the dog going after your kids because he growled at the cat or snapped at the cat.
Yeah.
So we have to see the interspecies behavior is a certain way, and then we have the human behavior are associated to animals that are different. Through over the millions of years, and if I calculate roughly, we talk about 4.2 million generations of human dog interactions are in the genetic code. A dog is more likely to look for a person, eye contact, and making like emotional contact with a person than he would do with another species. Wolves are not the same way, for example. And so we don't see that there are genetic boundaries, emotional boundaries. We don't do this to people because the way our society and the way our relationships are set with animals, we are the providers. And usually people create with their dogs secure attachment relationships. Would be perfect if that would happen 100%, but we are about 30% into that, where dogs see the person as a provider, and therefore I'm not going after my provider, I'm going to put my life at risk.
Yeah.
And these persons attached people who are a family. So we have a family and we have additional animals. Just because I adopted a cat doesn't make that be part of my family from a dog's perspective.
Right.
Because from a dog's perspective, the cat doesn't do any service. She's just hanging around. I'm not saying she doesn't, but it's a dog's perspective sometimes. If we add another dog, another cat, another goat, another chicken, another bunny to the equation, and the dog doesn't see the relationship into it, he is considered a stranger. That strange animal that comes into our home takes over our family's attention, and now she's going after a plate,
Yeah,
right?
totally get it.
So
We got a
we
really
need.
good comment here from Coco, which he says, thanks for participating with us today, Coco. He says, a little empathy and stopping to think about the dog situation could go a long way. These poor babies are just trying to survive, and once their survival needs are met, they have unlimited potential to love. Well said, my friend.
Well,
Yeah,
we have to see shelters, and you know better. Um, we should see a shelter as a name. A shelter is a shelter.
right,
Okay? It's not a garbage bin and it's not a parking lot. And if I take in a dog in a shelter and I have to provide the necessary needs for the dog to be cared for, I will not be able to kill that dog because of his needs,
right.
right?
Yeah.
And so if a shelter should hold the dog, it's a natural instinct, hold the dog until those needs are met, and then make a decision based on the needs that I have to do, based on the
Oh
dog's
my,
health condition. Is it something for dignity and quality of life of that dog? We should consider doing A, B, C, D, or make sense?
absolutely right. My goodness, what a great show today. This is one of those goosebump moments for me, which means that it really has hit home. Roman, I want to thank you so much for all of this because it is, yeah, namaste. This is it's like groundbreaking that the shelter doesn't really assess, and they don't assess where the dog what the dog's needs are, and then once they are met, it does make sense. Let's look and see uh, what we can do to correct it, and rather than euthanize it, possibly find a behaviorist or someone that can help them with the issues that they end up with after they've settled down. But don't make a snap decision the second they're in there, and then let's just euthanize resource guarding. They growled, they whatever. I think that's just an excuse to euthanize. Seriously.
I was very lucky to be involved in a PetSmart grant. By the way, we talked about that for a couple of rescues that I work with. One is National Great Pyrenees Rescue, and the other one is Grants Pass Humane Society, Rock Valley Humane Society, where these people get a grant to support their foster homes and support their shelter to
Yeah.
educate those people in doing online sessions and online training and help them understand animal behavior at the very core and a very low cost. And all the shelters should have specific people educated in a whole team, a behavior team, because that's their job to assess the dog. Is he safe for public? And if he's not safe for public, channel the dog in the right channel where the dog should be treated. Some dogs have zero emotional experience, zero experience in a home setting, and then we're going to fail those dogs either way. What we're going to do with them? They're over vaccinated, they're over treated, they're over medicated just to get rid of the dogs from a shelter. That's not appropriate. Things are more complex than just moving dogs around in a drawer back and forth, making sure he's off our chart.
Oh my God. Yeah. When I think about all the things that are going on here, and even through the years, all of the useless euthanasia that occurs because nobody understands the system properly. Hey, kudos out to Best Friends Animal Society and to Barkhouse. And by the way, Coco is the executive director of Barkhouse. Um, Thank you so much, because wait until you hear on Saturday what Barkhouse is doing with their new program. I'm very excited over their solution in this area. Now, that doesn't mean that it can't be duplicated in other areas, but right now it's going to be in this area. So, hey, wonderful, wonderful. Hey, Coco says he's participating. Thanks a lot, Coco. He says it's terrifying. Think about it. Shelter animals are simply one minor mistake away from death row.
Hmm.
Exactly. How is that humane? That's a horrifying set of circumstances. We need change. Couldn't agree with you more. Another goosebump moment for me.
And
Yeah.
I appreciate Best Friends and PetSmart for taking that into consideration, because education, dog parenting education, is what fills the shelters. Lack
Right.
of parenting education, because all those dogs would not be in the shelter, most of them, if there were people behind in the very first place know how to educate their dogs and know how to treat their dogs, so they wouldn't end up in a shelter.
And the first thing about dog education is the education of the human.
More so.
Yeah.
More so.
And the more I look at the relationship between human and pet and dogs, the more it's on the side of the human to learn, much more than on the side of the pet.
Gaetan, you are so absolutely right. And if you think about it, part of our show originally started as trying to teach humans how to act by learning from their dog. That was the main course, the main reason for it. Because if you look at the ideal situation of a dog is happy, it seems like, no matter what. As long
Yeah.
as they have food and love and shelter, they're fine.
Hmm.
It's the human that causes the uproar and the upset in the dog's life.
Hmm.
So, oh gosh, let's see, we got another. Oh, what was it? Yeah, it blows my skirt up. Yeah, that's what I always say. It blows my skirt up. That's Dale saying that. Yeah.
Is it Scottish?
So,
Probably.
okay. Yeah. Okay, you guys. That was absolutely wonderful. We're going to go on to the next section now, which is our dog thoughts.
Oh,
So,
yes.
yeah, we'll go to. Okay, so now let me give you a little heads up on this. This is Hank, and Hank, well, he's a really, really nice dog, and you're really going to love him, but he's not his an attitude. He's really very right. So you want to listen to what he's got to say. So here we go, folks.
So what's everybody making a huge fuss about? So I pooped on the rug. What, you think I did it deliberately? No. I tried to tell you that I needed to go out, but no, you just sat on the couch. I went to the door. I kept pushing you. I kept barking, but you didn't hear me. So I had no other choice. I couldn't hold it. I tried to hold it, but I couldn't. So the best thing I could do is just go around in a circle until you could see me, but boom, there it was. The poop came out. I couldn't help it. You know, you got to pay a little bit more attention to me when I make all these gestures and I let you know. And, oh, what? You want to hit me? No, no, no. Don't be even thinking about hitting me. It's your fault that you didn't take me out. That's a lesson for you to learn.
I love that.
There
I
you
love Hank.
Hank.
He's my guy.
Yeah, yeah. So,
I see this all the time. People assume the dog should know about potty training,
right.
and I did it to one person one time. I locked the door in their bathroom because he had the assumption that a dog should hold for 9 hours while he's on the job. And he says, I lock the door and I take the key home with me. I was like, no, you cannot just take the bathroom key. He says, yes, I can. I'll come back in 8 hours from now and see what you're going to do when you need to go to the bathroom, and you will not be able to do that.
Huh. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Absolutely right. Well, I have, Gaetan, I know you had another video, but I have one too that, if you don't mind, I'm going to
Go
use
for
that
us.
one. I'm going to use this one.
Ladies first.
Okay, and let me share this now. This is one that I created that I wanted to. Wait, no, wait a minute here. Hang on a second. Go ahead and talk, Gaetan. As
Ah
matter,
bon, hey, okay.
yeah, I'm going to show
Okay,
you. I'm
just
going to show your video.
okay.
Whoops. Okay,
A
so
very lovely picture.
Yeah.
We should be aware. I'm just giving kind of like an awareness moment that we have, if I'm not right, 4 million people in eviction notice. And all those people have also children and dogs that are in need. And we should see the value of those pets being a comfort and love to those children who are going through these stressful events when the stressed people try to get, around the corner with their finances and, keeping their jobs and a roof over their heads. And the dogs are the only comfort possible. So speaking of resource guarding, if your dog responds aggressively towards you approaching your child, it's not the dog's fault. There's something going on in the background that you should get help for.
exactly, exactly. And here Coco again, he says, such gentle, helpful, loving creatures. It's a shame how society at large treats them as simply property, which can just be discarded or mistreated. Dogs are the poster children of what unconditional love looks like. we as a human species need to do better. I have hope for the future, and thanks to so many organizations like PetSmart and Best Friends, I think humanity will prevail. I'm on board with National No Kill by 2025.
Mhm.
Excellent, Coco. That, as Dale would say, that blows my dress up. Okay, so I think we should end the show now. I was going to show a video, but I think I'll save it for next week because I think this has gone longer than we had anticipated. But hey, you guys, what a wonderful show. You all did fantastic, and I'm really, really proud of all of you. Okay, see you next week.
Same.
See you
We're
next
very
week.
proud of you. Thank you.
Bye bye. And
Thank
oh, by the
everybody.
way, before I forget, we're doing a special show on Saturday at 10 o'clock Central Standard Time, and it's the Dog Connection show. We're going to be going over Bark House and all about Bark House, what they're about, how the whole system works. And I think if you are in rescue, you really, or in the shelter environment, or you're in a kill and you want to go to no kill, or your numbers are high, then we definitely want you to watch, because this is a show that will help you understand what a new transformation and what new ideas and new thinking and crisp and clear thinking can develop into a system that is really, really dynamic. It's kudos to Barkhouse, to Coco, to Kelly Barker, to Denise, to Lucy, to Nancy, to
Kathy.
Kathy, to Coco. I said Coco, to Melissa, to everybody. Okay. All right. Thanks, everyone. And we will see you. Hopefully, watch us on on Saturday.
Yep.
It's getting mixing up. Hey, listen, I'm entitled. I'm a senior citizen. And I was telling Kelly the other day that I bet people probably think, well, what's that old gray haired broad doing this show for? The truth is that we want to bring in the millennials that can have a good voice. But keep this in mind. I'm seasoned. I already know where the mistakes are. I know where the bodies are buried. I know what can be done. So, okay, everyone. Thanks for watching.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye. See you.